Mm. All right. Anybody heard any good jokes lately? Want to sing us? It's football season. All right. Anybody heard any good jokes lately? Want to sing us? Wheels on the. It's football season. All right. Anybody heard? Okay, you solved that. Thank you. Okay, it's football season. 49 Bears walk in the bar. Bartender says, "Hey, we don't serve bears here." 49 Bears say, "Oh, we can never win." They don't get any better, folks. All right. We're live. Okay, so they got that joke. Hopefully this isn't played in Chicago. All right. Meeting is called to order. Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance and prayer by Supervisor Lazansky. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we gather here tonight thankful for the calling to serve our county. Thank you for the blessings you have bestowed on us and for the challenges and opportunities you bring forth. We ask for your wisdom and guidance in our discussions tonight. Help us in making decisions for the good of our county and its citizens now and for the future. Help us to grow closer as a group and nurture the sense of community. Help us to move forward with keeping our county safe, friendly, healthy, prosperous, and beautiful for all. We place this meeting in your hands as we pray in your most blessed name. Amen.
Okay, hopefully, we got a little, I guess we're a little more technical difficulty. Did you know, while we're waiting, did you know that it takes Supervisor Mastler, it's 5-minute walk from his house to the bar? It's a 20-minute walk from the bar to his house. The difference is staggering. Okay, I think you can hit present. Some of you aren't going to be present, okay? Wow. What's that? Yeah, I thought the first two I told were. Sure.
Okay, now.
Oh.
To be able to see present.
You missed your chance.
Okay,
All right.
if you're present.
I'm present, okay. Supervisor, the 3 are not here, so we should have 3 not present. I gotta put these on to see that. No, we have Supervisor Brown gone as well, right? No, do not do that, Supervisor Yonke. Do not sign him in if he is not here. No. Don't vote for people that aren't there either. The clerk doesn't like that. Okay. Yeah. Well, Mr. Loining has got this, he's got this down. I mean, we're almost all the way through roll call already, and it's all right. We've got roll call then. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda you have before you, Supervisor Swag? Oh, we're not ready. Sorry, disregard.
No, somebody needs to make a motion.
What he did. Okay, so
Okay, so we have a motion in a second, and if there's no discussion, then we can vote.
Okay.
But I'll follow.
So you have to give us permission to vote. So I have a motion by Supervisor Vollenweider and I have a second by Supervisor Kroll. So this is just like Jeopardy. They were first on the button. And there is any discussion? Okay, so then we may vote. And well, my only minor complaint is I gotta have glasses on to read those, but okay. Oh, well, hey, thank you. Well, I wish you'd have told me that before I made a fool of myself, but okay. So I have 17 yes, none opposed, 3 absent. Motion carries. Agenda's approved. Oh, we're cooking with Gillespie. All right. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the previous. I have a motion from Supervisor Kinnard and a second by Supervisor Langto to approve the previous county board minutes. Is there any discussion on that, on the motion? Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. And I have 17 yes, none opposed. Motion passes. Oh, hey, this is starting to get smooth here. All right, you might have done good. All right, citizen. Oh. Oh, wow.
So we can give them the 3 minutes.
Okay.
Now, when they go up, I can start the timer and you'll hear a
Oh,
bell.
and they
3
can,
minutes is up, so you don't have to do that.
and they can watch that big clock
Correct.
and
we can put the clock up if you want. We don't have to.
And then it-
That's an option.
and then when it gets to the end, it'll buzz and blow and things.
It's a bell. It's ding,
Oh,
ding.
wow, go ding, ding, ding. This is just like,
Jeopardy runs all the way through it.
well, this is just like Sunday morning for me. All right. Do we have anyone who wishes to speak to the board? Has anyone signed up? No? Is there anyone who wishes to speak to the board? Anyone wish to speak? Okay, very well. We move on. We have no appointments tonight. Annual reports. We have a report from KCEDC, Mr. Ben Nelson. If you want to proceed to the microphone, please.
Three minutes? All right. Let's see if we can get this pulled up. There we go. All right. Can everybody hear me? All right. Well, thank you for inviting me to come and present. I know it's been a little bit since I've been here last. I heard there was a jail on the agenda that took up a lot of your time, so I appreciate the opportunity. So I'm here again just to give you kind of an economic progress report. I will say that some of the information in these slides, some of you may have seen before, because some of this information I've shared in other meetings and other presentations around the county. So I apologize if some of this stuff you already know. There we go. So just a quick overview. I won't spend a lot of time on strategic plan, but as you know, some of you, the KCEDC spent the last year developing a new strategic plan. The results of that were kind of our 4 pillars that support our economic mission. Those are business development, economic competitiveness, awareness, and capacity. And those are slides I know that you've all seen before. So just to give you some highlights of what we've been up to over the last few months since we last spoke. As you may recall, last year we put a very strong emphasis on our BRE program. What that is our business retention and expansion program. So really that's the boots on the ground work of economic development. So getting out in the community, engaging with our business leaders, identifying some of the biggest issues that they have. Trying to identify at-risk companies that may be in jeopardy of leaving the community. Also being aware of businesses that may be moving into the community and those types of things. Um, so what we have done over the course of, this is a little more than a year's worth of data right now. So we've completed over 86 visits representing almost 3,000 employees in the county. The top issues that we were hearing about haven't changed. Talent, political environment, and supply chain. And I've bolded talent because that is their top priority of almost every industry that we have within the county. Some of the other stats you can see there, I won't read these all off because that gets boring after a while. But as you can see, all these percentages indicate that we need more people in this community doing the jobs that we have available in the county. Right now, the latest numbers are that there are two open jobs for every one employee there is to fill them, specifically in manufacturing. So that is one of our strongest industry sectors in the county. So that's obviously correlated here with talent being our top issues. Over the course of the last year, we've been involved or helped facilitate over $6 million worth of grants into the community, into the county. That's a mix of small business grants, some larger EDA grants and those types of projects. And for small business, that equates to $1.7 million. Basically that 1.7 is about 35% of our region's allocation. So we're capturing a pretty significant portion of that against a region that encompasses 8 different counties, which also includes Door, Brown, and Manitowoc counties. So we're actually leading in the securing of those grants for small businesses in our region. We've also, part of a grant project was a broadband access study that we did in partnership with the New North. New North is an 18-county regional partnership looking at different economic development issues throughout northeastern Wisconsin. So this access study was really an asset analysis and assessment. There's a report that was generated from all of that and is being dispersed to all of the participating counties. And that project was funded through a match with an EDA grant as well as local match from the partnership of economic development organizations that participated. Some of the other economic successes that we've experienced in our county alone, we've seen a 222% increase in housing permits issued from the same time last year. Looking at 5-year averages, our median income level is increasing, our educational attainment is increasing, our poverty rates are going down. The county directly benefits from the sales tax revenue increase, which is at a 7% annual increase, and our average annual wage has also increased. Those are all positive things, but we are behind some of our more populated adjacent communities. So Brown County specifically, but they're also the largest part of our MSA, which is our metropolitan statistical area. As I talked about earlier, talent has become kind of the emerging issue for a lot of our business community. The latest numbers, we haven't gotten July's updated numbers, but our unemployment rate is at 2.9%. We consistently have held we are the second lowest unemployment county in the state of Wisconsin, and that has held true now for about a year. With low unemployment comes a high LPR, which is our labor participation rate. So it's at 97%. These are numbers that are better than they were prior to the pandemic. So basically what that tells us is anybody that's of working age that's in our community should have no trouble locating a job because there are those jobs available. It also tells us that there's not a vast pool of workforce to draw from for those open positions as well, which I'll talk about a little further. One of the questions we always get is what's our return on investment? We're a public-private partnership, which is funded through public support as well as private support. So the county obviously is a large public partner for us. So just looking at that, I know some of you have seen this equation before. It's the economic value add, which is used very commonly in business to identify what's the value gained within the business in terms of creating value. So it's not quite the same as like, you buy a stock of Apple and it's $50 and now it's $100. So if we just look at the grant funding that we've accomplished in the last year of 6 million, with a very high 20% return on that, we're looking at over $5 million worth of economic value added to the community, and that's just one area of that. So just to put that into perspective, basically, so $150,000 is roughly our operating budget on an annual cycle. So if we took the entire investment amount that goes to support the EDC just through the grant program alone, that's almost 4,000% percentage increase in terms of the money invested versus what's come back. These are some of the things that we've been up to lately. We, as well as the county, are participating in a community economic development strategy session through Bay Lakes Planning. So this is a regional economic development plan and strategy. So the last time that this was done, I believe, was in 2017, and we did not know, there was no representation from Kewaunee County the last time that this plan was developed. So the fact that the EDC and the county is both engaged in this will mean that Kewaunee will be considered in some of our regional planning efforts moving forward. We recently completed a manufacturing benefits survey. So that's what the picture is there. So KCEDC is an active member of New Rep, which is Northeast Wisconsin's regional economic partnership. So that goes all the way down to Fond du Lac. Part of the reason that we did this survey was in our BRE programs, we were getting a lot of questions about, well, how competitive are our wages? How competitive are our benefits and things like that? Because obviously anybody in the skilled trades is getting poached from one company to the next. So companies wanted to know, where are we in relation to our peers? So we got just recently completed that. We'll be sharing that out with the participating manufacturing facilities that participated in it, and then also sharing that on a broader scale throughout the community. Just a little overview on that survey. So there were 191 different manufacturers that participated in it. So over the area that this represents, that's nearly about a third of the 600 manufacturers that fall within this region. Some of the strengths that were identified in our area in terms of manufacturing, and now this is benefits related, not wage specific, but we have competitive wage increases. 100% of the respondents offer paid holidays. 65% of the participants pay out the unused vacation for anybody that retires or leaves the organization. Our manufacturers, people are invested in their retirement accounts faster than the national average. 96% of our manufacturers offer some type of medical benefits, and 78% of them offer some kind of employee assistance program, EAP type of program. Some of the areas that were areas that we could improve upon, or our area manufacturing could improve on, only 56% of them offer any kind of child care assistance. Only 65% of our manufacturers offer paid maternity leave. 74% of them do not offer domestic partner benefits, and only 22% of them can contribute to their IRA within the first 90 days. So there are some opportunities there for our benefits to get more in line with what's going on nationally. So hopefully that will help with attraction as well as retention. And then finally, the last thing that we've been having a lot of conversations around lately is housing development in the community, in the county. So I know there's some people in this room that have been part of some of those meetings and conversations, meeting with some of our largest businesses throughout the community, representing more than 100 jobs that are currently vacant in the county, meeting and talking with developers and trying to identify properties that would be available for developers to come in and really start hopefully adding more homes, adding more people, bringing more tax base to the community. Looking ahead, some of the other things, some of these you've already seen. Obviously, we want to implement our strategic plan. We went through all that effort of planning and putting that together. Talent initiatives, and right now, one of the ways that we're trying to address that is through the housing development side. The nuclear decommissioning project is just starting to get going. Energy Solutions, the company that purchased the nuclear plant, took official ownership on it on June 30th. So that has cleared all of the regulatory process and it's moving forward. A lot of that is still in the planning phases before they actually start, before you'll start noticing any changes out there. Obviously, we're always in support of broadband. I know the county just received another nice grant to help improve with broadband. And then obviously, we're always looking to improve our capacity at being able to do more with the resources that we have and expanding that through capacity. So with that, that's my update for everybody. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Nelson? All right. And what was the years on that nuclear decommissioning? They now took possession, so that's 10 years from now, or?
Their timeline was 8 to 10 years, but they have a pretty hard goal of trying to do it in 8 years. So,
Excellent. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
thank you.
All right, administrators report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have one item, just so everyone is aware. There was a ribbon cutting for the Norman Tower that is now up on air. The Norman Tower is in the town of Carlton. So with that, we now have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We have 9 towers on air within the county. The Tish Mills one, a site has finally been acquired, so we hope to have that up sometime in the near future. And if you've done any driving throughout the county, you have seen trenching and boring and pieces of or things of orange and light green kind of tubing that is being put in the ground. That is the conduit that is part of the fiber project, of which we have received 2 grants for. And hopefully we'll start to see the blowing of that fiber into that conduit so we can start to provide service from a fiber standpoint. I have been, and as soon as I receive it, I usually send out to all of the county board the monthly report from Bug Tussle. Hopefully you've been receiving these via email. If not, please, we'll double check your email to make sure that you receive that. But that should give you a good indication from Bug Tussle where we're at. There's always some hiccups with regards to lawns and ground being disturbed, or where a fiber route may go, which may go around someone's house and going, well, why didn't they just go straight down line, hoping that they could then attach to the fiber that's in the road. But as always, we look at as best as we can to serve as many folks as possible. And sometimes that just means that the routes are predetermined by Bug Tussle. And as we continue to go forward with this project, we hope to put more fiber into the ground and eventually be able to serve everyone in Kewaunee County. So that's my report, unless there's questions, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Augustine.
I know in last month's executive meeting, I brought up to you about bug tussle with some tile line outlets getting cut. In the town of Carlton, I did get 3 calls from farmers with concerns. Did you have a chance to reach out to them, and was there any response?
I did send an email to them about that. I did not receive a response. I can send another one, and I will CC you as well as to that, so that way it's there. If you want to, you can touch. I can do that, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, sure. You also have in front of you, if we're talking about the diversity, equity, and inclusion part, you have all in front of you regarding from the Wisconsin Counties Association, regional meetings. This one is on diversity, equity, and inclusion for Kewaunee County Supervisors. That one is scheduled for Thursday, August 25th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Paper Valley Hotel in Appleton. You're seeing diversity, equity, and inclusion becoming a very common topic throughout not only the private sector, but the public sector as well, to try to help expand and diversify our workforce. If you have any interests, there are places that you can register as well, I believe. And as always, if there's a group of you, a county vehicle can be made to schlep anyone to Appleton if they so choose.
All right. Any other questions? Supervisor Dell?
I just got a quick question for you, Scott.
Sure.
Have they, Buck Tussle contacted you on anything about, all the outages that they have?
No, so I'm not aware of outages. What do you
Well,
mean
in the
by
last
outages?
month- In the last month, I mean, we have Buck Tussle and, quite a few people have, contacted me. They claim they're trying to reconnect and get another tower going and so forth. So they shut down for the whole day. And some of these people work from at home. Very, very upset.
And
I
this,
don't understand why they can't understand how to take care of this in a little better.
I wouldn't disagree with you, Supervisor Dell, and I guess this is the type of thing that I will put out to all supervisors. When you hear complaints from the public, whether it's Bug Tussle, whether it's county staff or otherwise, please try to forward those things to me, because if I'm not aware of them, I can't follow up on them. So I appreciate that, and I can follow up. Well, I'm gonna guess it's over and done with now, but I will still express the concern or the disappointment regarding that.
I mean, I have contacted them too personally,
Okay.
and they just gave me the same thing. They sometimes they don't even know why it is, but to be down a whole day is not why we signed up for this.
Well, and there's, I'm going to say it this way, is it's not uncommon for there to be hiccups, but we try to reduce and minimize as many of those hiccups as possible. So I will try to follow up with them and make them aware as well.
It would seem if you were going to have an entire day down that you would notify people in advance. I guess that would probably help too. Right. All right. Any other questions? All right. We'll move on to committee reports. Are there any questions on any of the committee reports which you have? Yes, Supervisor Lazansky.
So this is for land and water. Lake Michigan, specifically, the beach in Kewaunee. I've lived here all my life and I've always gone on the beach a lot. And I've never seen it so bad as it is now with the debris. I call it debris and like sludge because it just looks different and it's almost like mud. I was down there today. I did take some pictures. And I think it's been the whole summer. It started getting really, really bad in July. And we used to have as many as 300 people come down to the beach on a Saturday or Sunday. A lot of people coming from Green Bay, spending money in the community somewhat. But I don't know what all this debris is that's on the beach. And it goes out for, in some places, about 30 feet. It goes out for yards and yards and yards. And it's very, it's like mud and it's smelly and everything. And it's just so bad. And I've never seen it like that my whole life. So I'm wondering what's going on with that water.
That's the first I've heard of it. I can talk to Davina and have Travis take a look down there, take a look at it. I'm assuming it's an algae problem. I know this time of year when weather warms up, the algae grows in the rivers and in the lakes. And I think maybe John, I don't know, somebody from town, was there a bad eel wave die off this year in Lake Michigan? The beaches? So I don't know.
Please
if
use
that-
your mic.
I don't know if that contributes to that with those dying now, but I can definitely have Davina and have Travis look into that.
And I also want to make a reminder that if we're talking about debris on a beach, if it's a city beach,
Call
you
the
need,
mayor.
you need to call, you need to contact the city in that respect because, yeah, I'm sorry.
I can say that the Kewaunee Street Department guys worked on the Kewaunee beaches here in the last week or so and did a fantastic job with the limited resources we have. We are looking for a beach groomer acquisition, but I don't think the question is the beach, it's the water, so.
And that's where I wanted to clarify, because if it's the beach and debris on the beach, then that's something different. But if it's more of a public health thing, then I think that Cindy may be able to
Oh.
provide some
Cindy,
guidance.
would you like to speak to this or
Come up
or
to-
would you?
Come to Mike.
Oh, the beach is currently closed? Okay. Okay, what, and what's the issue? Are you? Okay. 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 All right. Okay, all right, thank you. Any other questions for anything further on that? Any questions, any other questions on any of the committee reports? Okay. Moving on, we have no ordinances. So, consideration of resolution, if you are ready. Okay, so I need somebody to tap in with a motion on this. Is that all I need? Okay. And I have a motion by Supervisor Vollenweider, and I have a second by Supervisor Haskey. So is there discussion, questions? Any questions on the motion? Oh, Supervisor Poppy?
Some of this is being paid for by a grant, correct?
That is correct. Would you like to
50%?
speak to that, Chief Deputy Vaser? If you do, please go to a microphone, though. I know it's a long walk and nobody wants to go all the way up there, but we can't hear you otherwise.
Okay, so it's working. About a year ago, we applied for a grant, kind of a last minute thing for body worn cameras. And it took a long time to find out if we got it or not, but we ended up getting the grant. It's a 50% match on the grant. It's about $60,000 for outfitting our entire department with body worn cameras. Body worn cameras are something that's really catching on all over. Most communities around us have it. We've had a couple officer involved shootings in our county, and luckily we had squad cams. And they really rely on those cameras, and that's kind of what the public expects. That's why we applied for this grant. We did get it. So they would match 50% of everything. And we sat down with Scott and we came up with a plan of how much this is going to cost yearly also. And there are licensing yearly that you have to automatically pay those fees. And then after 3 years, which is life expectancy of the cameras, we have to put that into our budget that we're going to replace some of the units every year. Our thought was if they're supposed to last 3 years, after 3 years, we replace a third of them and we kind of put it on a 1/3 rotation and we make it work after that.
If I may add, Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
what we're starting to see is both a public as well as a media expectation that if there is any type of event of any significance, the first thing that's asked for is body camera footage. And unfortunately now is if body camera footage is not available, then there is a certain suspicion as to are we trying to hide something? Why aren't we wearing body cameras? And so now the public expectation is that our officers should be wearing body cameras. We're able to therefore outfit our officers with that, have the cost be initially at a 50% match. That money will be coming from the contingency fund, of which we have ample dollars to do so.
So in an emergency, you can't just ask them to step in front of the dash cam. Supervisor Poppy.
Do you want to tell the board how long we have to keep this information? I know you talked about it to the towns last night, but
The statute says, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, but 90 days for most things video is what statute requires. Currently, we have like dash cams in our squad cars. We keep it much longer than that by policy. We're trying to keep it at least 6 months, sometimes a year. It kind of depends when we run out of storage. And this does come with a storage server that we think will be plenty big for our needs. So we will try and keep things longer than that too. Sometimes complaints come in beyond 90 days. Also, sometimes, you make a copy on a DVD and we have one copy for the DA, one copy for the sheriff's department is how we keep most things. If those ever got corrupted, it would be very difficult to prosecute a case knowing that something got corrupted. And, I'm sure there would be lawyers accusing us of whatnot. So if we can keep it for 6 months to a year, a lot of times the cases are far enough in a court system then that we still have the original and we'd be able to use it.
All right. Any other questions for Supervisor Vollenweider?
And just to clarify, Jason, I believe your explanation at finance was also describing that the dash cam is compatible with the body cams and they work in conjunction together? Or the software is the same or whatever?
Yes, it's the same vendor, Motorola, basically, and that's why we're going with the Motorola's. You want them to work in conjunction with each other because it's very hard in a high stress situation for somebody to remember as soon as you get the scene, oh, I gotta turn my camera on, that's right. So what they do is they run off the same triggers. So if they trigger on the lights, then your body camera starts up the same time the squad camera does. The other advantage to it is if you go with a different vendor, when you come down, okay, something big happened and you have to save it for court. Let's just say it's an OWI stop. If they're from independent vendors, when you download that data, basically you have double the work. You download it for the squad cam and then you have to download it for your body cam. And then they probably take different modes or codecs or whatever it might be to play them. So when you go with the same vendor, when you download one incident, it saves everything in a nice package. It's easy to put on DVD and it's easy to play back in court if that's what you need. And you know that the things are going to coincide with each other. Whereas if they're different vendors, they may not coincide when you try playing them back. You
All right.
turn one on later or earlier and, you have to answer questions as to why that happened.
Okay. Other questions? All right. Thank you, sir. No further discussion. We'll proceed to a vote whenever, we're ready. You may register your vote. 17 yes, none opposed. Motion carries. All right. Consideration of ordinance read at previous county board meeting. We have none. Communications, resolutions from other counties?
Just two resolutions, one from Taylor County, one from Brown. Resolutions regarding private funding of election administration.
All right, that's it. Thank you. Kewaunee County events? How'd Shanty Days go? Well, did you get wet?
Saturday, we did have a little rain, but we made up for it on
Alright.
Sunday with the parade and we had enough attendance that we did sell out of wristbands and everything. So that means attendance was good.
All right, very good. Any other events?
There's the back to school program
Excellent.
that we're holding on August 10th.
Supervisor Yonke, you had something?
I know we have a meeting in between, but save the date of September 24th for the Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Put it in your
Oh.
calendar.
Very good. September 24th?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Other events? All right. Chair comments. There will be an executive meeting August 23rd at 5 PM. So it's Tuesday, 5 PM, Executive Committee, please. Hopefully you're able to make that. Next meeting dates. September 13th is previously scheduled. October 18th is previously scheduled. So we would be proposing November 8th. That's the election. Well, that can't possibly work. Okay, so let's see if we can go to, so what if we were to go to either the 15th or the 1st, huh? Okay, how about the 1st? Does anybody have anything on November 1st? Okay. What if we were to do November 1st? Is there any difficulty with that? That would work for you? Strange, too early to tell. Okay, so we're going to look at, yes. Sorry, Joanne, Miss
Can I-
Supervisor Lazansky?
If it's the first, then I need to be excused in October, so I would need to be excused in November, which is 2 meetings in a row. Am I allowed to do that?
Well, we wouldn't kick you off the board.
I will be doing volunteer work in Poland, so.
Okay, well, she could certainly do that. I don't expect, yeah, Supervisor Teske,
Could we keep it on the 8th and just move it up to 5?
does that work or does that make it to,
If I may, Mr. Chair,
who's that?
it was
Yes,
me, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Feld, Mr. Feld.
There's two different things regarding the date for the November. Is November 8th is election day, but the other part is this November meeting is where you are approving the 2023 budget. So therefore, it may be longer than what the typical one is. And we also need to have it because the clerk will then need to send that completed budget and all the requisite documents with it to the Department of Revenue. So, and that has a deadline of the 15th. So we try to do it sometime in that first 10 days of
So-
November. So again, if the board is willing, it doesn't necessarily have to be on a Tuesday.
So, but you would be lobbying, if anything, I mean, well, when we switch days, we get into other complications too, but November 1st then would,
I don't want to speak for the finance director, but I think if we are not really done by, we'll meet in October. So if we're not 98% there, then we have bigger problems. So
so November.
we could do
1st
November
would be
1st.
Other than for Supervisor Lazansky. Supervisor Dell? Oh,
Correct.
I wouldn't be able to make it. 7th on a Monday, I'm hearing groaning. Where's that coming from? Supervisor Poppy can't make the 7th. How about the 1st? I'm sorry, it's, we never hit them all when we have to move, and unfortunately it happens. Supervisor Dell wouldn't make that. He's coming in hot as it is. You know, if the chief deputy wanted a hobby just for entertainment, he could be waiting out at the beginning of these meetings for some. He's in front of you with the lights on. All right, we're getting off topic. November 1, would there be a motion for that? Otherwise, we're not going to find. All right, I have a motion. Is there a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? No? Okay, sorry. Okay, yeah, we'll be 6 o'clock. All right. That was Supervisor Poppy made the motion. Who seconded that motion? Supervisor Augustine. Sorry, I didn't. All right, do I have a motion to adjourn? Supervisor Dell. Oh, sorry. I gotta have it on here. Supervisor Vollenweider, got him. Second by Supervisor Dell. I don't think there's any discussion on that whenever we're ready to proceed to a vote. Well, Supervisor Vollenweider's got to get on Jeopardy. Yeah, I think he might have gotten at least 2/3 of the motions tonight. This new system behooves him. Passed by voice vote. Oh, that was a curveball. All right, motion's adjourned. Thank you.